I was scrolling on Twitter and I saw someone that I actually follow on Twitter. So Logan Jones, and I'm not going to go into who he is and what he does, but he said that he bought two different vehicles with cash, a 2009 Toyota Camry, and that was $7,000, a 2013 Ford Escape for $13,000, and he paid cash. He was saying that he likes it better because he doesn't have a car payment and he never will. What's being missed out on here is that Logan is not accounting for the fact that he no longer has the $20,000 and he could not earn interest on his $20,000. So you have to remember it's always an opportunity cost. You can either earn interest on your dollars or you can trade those dollars away for something else that might be of value to you. So let's take a look and see what was the opportunity cost of Logan taking the $20,000 and buying two separate cars versus earning interest on the $20,000 using someone else's money like the bank to buy the two different cars that he still wanted to buy. Cash, he didn't have to go to the lot. He still could have gotten a bank loan for those cars, or if he's his own bank, he could have got a much better interest rate, controlled the debt better in terms of paying it back and when he pays it back to his own bank, and still got those two separate cars. So obviously I'm going to advocate for the second option of being his own bank and much lower interest rate and having control over the debt, because when he pays it back to himself, his bank, he keeps all the money he pays back. But nevertheless, let's go ahead and take the situation for what it is and look at what happens when he misses out on the opportunity of earning interest on his $20,000 and buys the cars. So here we go. $20,000 at 5% interest. That's about the going rate right now. So let's assume that he's earning his $20,000 at 5% APY. That's $1,000 at the end of 1 year. Now, by the laws of compound interest, he doesn't remove this deposit. It goes into, we're going to use the example of his banking system, or it could be any bank, but we're going to use his banking system where we know he's his own bank and he's growing his money with uninterrupted compound interest. If you want more information on being your own bank, make sure you follow this channel and watch more videos. But nevertheless, year number 2, whether it's his bank or the bank, he has a new balance of $21,000 and it's growing at 5% interest, which equals $1,050. So when we add that up and we move down to the next line, we have $22,000. It's actually a little bit over, but I just rounded it. So $22,000 times 5% equals $23,153 that we now have total. All right. So if you see there, all we did was add the interest to each year going forward, and the total gain that he could have made on his $20,000 is $3,153. So by Logan not using his dollars to earn interest, he instead just simply lost out on $20,000. I used 3 years because normally on a used car note, it's going to be about 3 years that you pay on that car. So in the 3 years, we see he could have made a gain of $3,000 and some change versus just simply losing out on the $20,000. So now he doesn't have the cash there growing with interest. He simply has two used vehicles that will end up costing him more in the future because cars are liabilities, not assets. Here, he could have had a gain on the $20,000 to go towards paying for those liabilities because those cars will need brakes, gas, and so on and so forth moving into the future. And by him using someone else's money, whether it's from his banking system or the bank, he could have made the same exact transaction, and the interest that he was gaining would have offset the interest that he paid to the bank or his bank while still having the vehicles. So what do you think is smarter? Do you think it's smarter to keep using cash or use OPM?